What's happening? What's happening? Hey, listen, y'all. Y'all come on in the room. I'm not going to hold y'all up long on this one. Had to come with a little bond in the crew. Bond Mason and crew. Rock, skate, roll, bounce, old school skating ring jam. Y'all come on in this room now. See, this was back in the day when the skating ring was jumping on Sunday. But I couldn't go to the skating ring. I had to go to church. See, back then we called them sanctified church. I grew up Pentecostal, now what they call. Hey, y'all come on in the room, man. We're gonna get this thing started. Bounce left, bounce right, it's disco time. Ooh-wee! Man, this is taking me back. All right, we're going to get this thing started. We're going to get it started. On and bounce. Oh, them were the good old days. Y'all come on in this room, man. The rest of them can catch it up on the replay. Let's go ahead and get this thing started. We're going to get it popping off. Now, what I want to talk to you about briefly tonight, ladies and gentlemen, briefly, very briefly. Y'all come on in the room. I am RD Muhammad right here at Plugged In, where we're plugging you in with the information that you need in order to set you free to where you can live life on your own terms, ladies and gentlemen. And there are some secrets. I wouldn't necessarily say secrets, but there are some things that are kept intentionally, unintentionally. It really doesn't matter. But the mass public does not know about these tips and these golden nuggets of information that I have been giving you guys, that I have been blessed and fortunate enough to be taught or to be shown or told, whatever the case may be. I have been blessed and fortunate enough to get this information and to share it with you, because it's the information that we don't have that keeps us from actually living life the way that it was promised to us. Now, be it that was by design or whatever the case may be, you know, in a class society, you have to expect that that is what's happening. Because if everyone was privy to this information, then we really wouldn't have any workers. It's sad to say that. It's sad to say that. But even though now that you have people like myself and there are other people out here that share this information and share this knowledge and drop these jewels on you guys, everybody still will not be receptive. We've already talked about that, and we established that yesterday. But I'm going to give you this work because I think it's just vital, because I've come to the understanding and the realization that there's enough money out here for all of us to eat. For one person to have $268 billion. Ladies and gentlemen, there's only 380 million people in the United States. Everybody can get $1 million and he still would be the richest man in the world. Now, but I'm going to give y'all this information on how to establish your children's future to where even though if you yourself can catch it and do these things right now, it can change your situation, your circumstance, your livelihood, your zip code. But if you are already at that age and your children are at that age, I'm going to be dropping you guys some jewels, some golden nuggets of information on how you can establish their financial future. Ooh, it's a sweet game, ladies and gentlemen, and we didn't even know. I remember when I was in school, I used to wonder how these kids, 16, getting brand new cars. These children coming to school driving BMWs, Mercedes, Miatas. Back in the day, Miata, when I was coming up through school, Miatas and the convertible. They got these convertibles, and my first car was a 76 Cutlass Supreme Hoopty. That's what we used to call them back in the day, the Hoopty, my Hoopty. And that car had already been through 2 other cousins before it got to me. Now, let's get off into this, because this is going to be something that's going to blow your minds. It's going to blow your minds, ladies and gentlemen, on the information that has been hailed. And you guys are going to see exactly what we're talking about. Now, this is another one of those podcasts where I'm only going to leave this up for 72 hours. Because this information, ladies and gentlemen, again, is a part of my digital target marketing course, to where it's not available. It's only available to those clients who come in and take and be a part of my course. Now, but I'm going to bless you guys with this information so you can have this. It's only for 72 hours, and then this is going to come off, right? So, and it may not even be available for 72 hours. I'm thinking that I'm just going to leave it up for 24 hours, because there's a lot of people coming in and out, and I get it. Whatever case you might have going on. But if you are not concerned or worried about your children's financial future, to where you deem that this is not even plausible or pliable to you, and hey, this is why in this society that we live in, we will always have workers. Because some people have already established bills and utilities in their children's name, and already are ruining their children's credit already, and they haven't even come out of high school. Let's just be real about this, family. We're going to be real about it. All right. So let's get off into establishing your children's future. And this is how you can do this. Okay. Now, the first thing that you want to do, ladies and gentlemen, when your children become freshmen in high school. Now, you can actually start this at the age of 12. You can literally start this at the age of 12, 13, 14. 14, you're in the 9th grade, but you can actually start this at the age of 12 legally, where you can hire your own children inside of your own business. Now, and what you want to do, you want to create an LLC when they're in high school. Again, you can go down as far as age 12, which is 7th grade, junior college, not junior college, junior high, or middle school. In some states, they call them middle schools. And here's the greatest part about that. When you start them on an LLC at the age of 12 to 14, you can list those children, your children, ladies and gentlemen, you can list your children as employees of that business, and you can pay them a salary upwards to $12,000 a year. I have done this myself. Some of you guys have been following me long enough with the leather business. You saw a lot of those photos. My oldest daughter was my model. Now, I listed her as an employee in the leather business. So when I leave this physical plane that we call Earth, life, when I leave this physical manifestation, she will then inherit my business, the overall company, her and her sister. And they will both be in a position to, when they graduate high school, if they don't go off to college, I pray that they do go off to college, but if they don't, when they graduate high school, they will be able to slide right into the role of being young entrepreneurs and bosses. This is why we do all of this work, ladies and gentlemen. This is why we do this. This is why entrepreneurs and people of just comfortability, we're not going to say rich, we're just going to say people who live in lives of comfort. They establish these companies and these businesses so when they leave this planet, their children can take over. And then instead of your children going to school, getting an education, and then instead of them putting in an application, now they can go to school, get the education, and then slide right on in and take over where you left off once we leave this world. So the first thing that you want to do is, at the age of 12, you want to create, and this is all legal, ladies and gentlemen, and you can fact check this over and over and over again. Trust me, I've done the research. I've already been doing this with both of my daughters. So you will have this information and know how to exactly do it. You're going to create them an LLC. And if you have more than one children, you can create an LLC in each one of their names. So each child will have their own business. Now, why do you want to create that LLC and list them as employees? Now, listing them as employees simply says they are learning the business. I'm going to tell you how you know. This is actual fact. You guys have ever gone into an Asian restaurant? Now, I know they list them as Chinese food, but everybody that has a Chinese food restaurant is not Chinese. A lot of them are Vietnamese. A lot of them are from Thailand. A lot are from Korea. And it's so funny why they do that. It's because the majority of the world, we think that they're all the same. The majority of Americans think that every Chinese restaurant is their Chinese people or from Chinese descent. And that's not. But what I want you to pay attention to and look at, if you look into those restaurants of Asian persuasion, the Asian restaurants, they have their children working in the restaurant. That's not just cultural, ladies and gentlemen. This is a legal way for the children to have a business. And they are learning the business while they're young. And then when the parents get ready to either retire or leave this world, the children slide right on into a business that's theirs. They know all of the ins and outs of it. And you can do the same thing with your children, ladies and gentlemen. You can start them an LLC at the age of 12, list them as employees, and pay them an annual salary up to $12,000 a year. Now, you want to pay the taxes and the fees on this business over the total existence, all the time that they're in school. Now, this establishes them business credit. Ooh, my right hand is itching. Thank you. Now, you guys remember that I talked to you about this a while back, a few months ago. And we talked about you have to have business credit on a company at least 5 years, establishing business credit. Now, to establish that business credit, you want not 5 years, 4 years, but you want to have some will even allow you to establish business credit only after 2 years. But they want you to show that you are in business over a duration period of time, and you have to have at least 5 creditors that you are doing business with. So when you establish these LLCs in your children's name, it is their company. They are learning the ins and the outs of the business, and you are paying them a salary, and they are legally listed at 12 years old. This is law, ladies and gentlemen. Now, and the business for them to inherit and not be employees the rest of their lives. This breaks the cycle of us working until we die, when we can be business owners and employers right out of high school, right out of college, just that fast. While they are in school, ladies and gentlemen. Now, all of this ties into not establishing LLCs inside of your state. Remember, we talked about that. You can take your income tax that you earn from your job, take that money, a portion of that money, establish your children an LLC in a state where it's $50. If you want to go Alaska, Alaska is $15. And it's all legal because you are a citizen of the United States. There is nowhere on the law books that says that you have to create an LLC or an incorporate inside the state that you live in. We'll get to that. That's definitely, I definitely not going to do that on a free post or on a free podcast, because that is some very vital information, because we go into the taxation, teaching about the taxes and how to file that and all of that. But you can create them an LLC in a state that is $50. Alaska, $15. Some states, $65. I think Arkansas is $65. But when you take part of your income tax, create your children an LLC. You can start this at the age of 12, put them on the forms as employees. Now, again, you guys saw in a lot of my Premier Leather Crafter photos, my daughter doing the leather earrings. Those were my daughter's feet that was in the leather sandals. So she is an employee, a future boss of Premier Leather Crafters. Her sister is a future boss and employer of the businesses that I have worked and sacrificed hard for them. For them. Now, let's get back to this, because I told you I'm not going to keep you long. As dependents and under the age of 18, you can pay them a salary up to $12,000 a year. Now, here's where it gets good. Getting them a business credit card. Ooh. Let me say that again. Instead of giving your children an allowance, get them a business credit card. Teach them how to be responsible and make your payments on time. And you can even apply now for a business debit card and teach them how to be responsible. This is how the rest of the world, ladies and gentlemen, have an upper hand on us. Ooh, somebody put a clap on that. This is how the rest of the world has the upper hand on us. They start teaching their children as soon as they can talk and look over the counter. I've gone in some restaurants to where the child is standing on a stool with some pillows on it. Hey, can I take your order? And they literally taking the money. Ooh, they're taking the money. But as dependents under the age of 18, you can pay them, and it's legal. And then you want to get them or create them a business credit card, add them as authorized users, establishing them business credit. Some of y'all didn't know that. Because under the teachings that we get from school, it says that a child can't work until the age of 16. And then at the age of 15, they have to have a permit. That is true. if they're working for somebody else other than you. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, if they're working for somebody else outside of your parental reach, now they have to, because that company or whatever business, most of us get a little fast food burger joint restaurant job. And then we have that company has to pay workman's comp and insurance and all of that stuff. But if you have a business or if they have a business, there is nothing stopping them from working for themselves. I know everybody has watched the show Shark Tank. And you have all seen how these children come on Shark Tank and they're pitching business ideas. Now, how in the world can these children have a business? Because their parents are establishing them a business LLC, and then they're teaching them how to handle business, conduct business, pay business credit, pay their debts off, and they're teaching them all of this. So, ladies and gentlemen, we see it happening right before our eyes, but nobody's ever told us how to do it. Nobody's ever told us how to do it. Now, let's get to this right here. You can actually deduct their salaries from your tax return. And they don't have to pay any federal tax. They don't have to pay any federal tax because you're deducting their payroll out of your money. Ooh, that sounds like somebody gonna get a tax break. That sounds like somebody's gonna get a tax break. $12,000 a year, that's all you can pay them. Now you break that down, $12,000 a year is their annual salary. So roughly you're gonna pay them $1,000 a month. Wait a minute, how much are you paying them for their allowance? $25 a week? $30, $40, $50 a week? And when you're establishing them a business, ladies and gentlemen, you can actually pay them a salary of $1,000 a month. That's $333 a week. Let's just go with $300 or $285 a week. That's part-time. And you're teaching them the principles of how to be a responsible business owner. And it's all tax deductible for you, the overseeing guardian and parent. Now, from this, ladies and gentlemen, it's very simple on how you can do this. And again, I'm only going to leave this up for 24 hours. Actually, I'm going to leave the other post, the other podcast that I shot earlier, the other live. I'm only going to leave it up for 24 hours as well. 3 days is too long. Because if you're serious about it and you really want to change the financial demographics of your family, it doesn't take a rocket science. And it doesn't take you 3 days to do that. Some of you, if you sacrifice just a week's worth of going out to eat to create your children a business, it might be too late for some of us. But it's never too late for your children or your grandchildren even. Even if your children are grown now and they're already into their lives, give it to your grandchildren. This is the only way we're going to break those financial curses that's holding us back and keeping us in the same mental state that we are in. So, ladies and gentlemen, I thank y'all for chilling with me. Again, I told you, this wasn't going to be for you long. I wasn't going to be before you long. But you guys got it. Y'all know what to do. Let's put it to work, family, and get our children, to create our children their own business and start teaching them how to be business owners so they don't have to rely on another person paying them a wage for them to take care of their families. I'm going to skate on up out of here, y'all. And I'm going to roll and bounce. Hey, I'll see y'all on the other side, man. Hey, y'all tune back in. We're going to be probably, I'm going to be on the road starting tomorrow. And if I'm fortunate enough, if I'm in your area, wherever you can come and meet me and come out and hear what I'll be giving to people. You guys are more than welcome to come out, man. I would love to lay eyes on your face, and I would love to talk with you and share my story and give y'all what I have been giving you all of this time. I mean, establishing your children's future, ladies and gentlemen, there's nothing like knowing that your children will be provided for you years down the road. They'll be provided for years down the road. Hey, I wish y'all could have came in earlier, but hey, go back and catch the replay. I was dropping some jewels. Now this is only going to be open for 24 hours. So go back, watch the replay, and get all of those jewels, because this is coming down after 24 hours. I'll catch y'all on the other side. Peace.